Hi, my name is Abhishek Patel. I'm a founder of Beyond Systems. In this video, we will see what is name mapping in TestComplete and how we can leverage its function to build robust test automation framework. So before we start, just want to let you know that every object or every web object in an application has an attribute. For example, this woman tab is an object. To see the attributes associated to this tab, you have to right click and inspect. And this web object has an attribute with a tag name A, that means this is the link. It has this attribute title and its value is woman, same class, and it has some value, and it has this content text as a woman. So all the web objects on an application has attributes. So when TestComplete run automated test, it identifies this object using unique attributes from your application. Here I have recorded this test. Let me run this test. So right click and run this test. So it's a pretty simple test. It just opens the browser, clicks on that woman tab, and it clicks on that top. Now it selects one top and proceed to checkout. That's it in this test. So here, if you look at the test, all these links are called web objects. So anything on an application is a web object. So when I recorded this test complete recorded all these objects by using unique attributes. To find those attributes, you have to jump to this name mapping editor. In order to do that, just click on any of the object, for example, this link object, and right click and select this option, show object in name mapping editor, and it will take you to this name mapping editor. Now, here in the name mapping editor, we have these four quadrants. And this is when I click on this link object, here it shows me the screenshot of that object, and here are the attributes that TestComplete automatically map to this object to find it during the time of running automation. Now in this quadrant, that is mapped object, the actual objects are stored. So here are the actual objects, here are the aliases of this object, here are the attributes related to these objects, and here is the screenshot of that object. Let me go back to the test. Now, when I click on this object and look into this test visualizer, I can see where this object is on my application. So when I double click and open this, this is the link object. So this link object is here inside my application. It gives the information about the object or where this object is on application, but the link itself does not give any information. So we can rename this object. Now, to rename this object, you have to rename here. Okay, you have to rename inside this aliases. Now it's difficult to find that object, so instead you will go to that object, right click and click on the show object in name mapping editor, and here is that object, and now update the object with the appropriate name. For instance, I am going to give it as a woman tab. Okay, woman tab, and in this prompt when I click OK, Now, if I navigate to my test, and if you can see here, it updated from link to woman tab. However, when I right click on this woman tab and do find mapped object, you will see that the actual object is not changed, but the only aliases got changed. So the alias got updated, but the actual object remains same. Similarly, for this link to, when you see this is the top tab. So you can update the name of this link to object by right click, show object in name mapping editor, and here same top tab. Okay, and click OK, and it should reflect now in your test. Okay, for this text node as an object, this does not provide any information. So we're going to right click, show object in name mapping editor, and here is it I think it's linked with the name quick view. See, object type is a text node and content text is a quick view. So we can update this name as a quick view. Okay, and click OK, and you can see it got updated in my test. So this is how you can update the names of your objects inside your test. Okay, now let's see how to manually assign the attribute to your object. Now for woman tab, let's see the attributes used in a woman tab. So these were the attributes used in a woman tab. Now let's consider you want to add one more attribute to make this object even more robust. You can do that. Just right click on that object and click on an edit, and TestComplete will open this edit name mapping item window, and here it shows this couple of attributes that TestComplete used to identify the woman tab. Now you can use your attribute from the available attributes. For example, if I want to use this base URI as an attribute, I can use it. Okay, you can use any number of attributes. Okay, since this attribute mapped by TestComplete are pretty robust, I'm gonna keep it as it is and click on OK. Alright, so we saw now how to rename the objects or web objects in TestComplete, and how we can add extra attributes to this web objects. Okay, adding and removing of attributes. Now let's see some of the features in a name mapping. Consider you have this application and there is a button, click me, and when you click on this button, the text of this button got changed. Now, if the TestComplete is identifying this object by its content text, then next time it won't identify this object since the content text got changed. Okay, how to handle this? Let's see that. This is the objects file. You can directly map the object using this objects file. Drop on a click me button. Okay, and here I'm going to map it. So you have to first map this object. So we are going to click on this map object. Now once it maps, okay, map the object as button click me. Okay, it got mapped. Now you can right click on this button and show object in the name mapping editor, and it will show you the button. Okay, now right click this button, edit the properties or attributes of this button, and I'm going to use this content text of the button. Okay, and when I highlight it, it shows me where this button is. Okay, highlight this and it will show me where this button is. Let me highlight this again. Okay, as you can see, it says unable to find the object that matches the button click me item. Okay, object type is button, content text is click me. But here the content text got changed to click me again. So now TestComplete has a feature where you can handle this kind of objects. Let's see how to do that. Let me, okay. First, you have to edit this object. And here there is a button called conditional mode. Click on it. And here I'm going to use a condition. First attribute TestComplete using is object type button equals to button. Second, it is content text equal to click me, and here in this line I'm going to add one more condition, or content text, okay, content text equal to, this is the content text, okay, this is the content text after clicking the button, okay. So let me copy this, go back to my TestComplete and paste here, okay, paste here and okay and okay, okay. Now this button is going to be highlighted by TestComplete. Let's see, right click, highlight, and as you can see it is highlighting this object on our screen. If I change it back to click me, and now if I click again highlight, it will highlight. See? So this is how you can handle the dynamic objects. Okay, this is how you can handle dynamic objects. Now, this was the case where you happen to know the content text of the object or the content text of this button. But in future you may not know the content text. Then how you can handle it? That's pretty easy as well. Okay, let me take an example. Let me navigate to this YouTube. Now let's see how to handle an object whose attributes keeps on changing. For instance, in this YouTube, this part of the YouTube may keep changing. For instance, consider this part keeps changing. Then how we can handle it in a TestComplete? So that is possible by wildcarding. Okay, let's see what is that. Open up your objects file and now map the YouTube or map the object that you wish to work with. For instance, I am going to map this object, okay, and click on this highlight object in object tree, and it will show you that object along with all of its parent objects, okay. All the objects along with its parent object, okay. So this is the real object that we are worried about. Okay, this is the object we are worried about because it has this string which may change after a while. So first let's map that object. Map the object as page Abhishek Patel Webyon system, or you can use it, or you can manually map that page. Okay, now right click and click on show object in name mapping editor, and here is the attribute of that page object. Now let's update this. Right click, edit, and now we can use the wildcard here. So in order to use the wildcard, click on the attributes that you want to change or you want to use wildcard on, and click on this three dots. Once you click on it, it will bring you up this window. And here inside this window, use the wildcard where you are not sure about the stability of the value. For instance, I am not sure about this string, so I'm going to use wildcard here. And when I click OK, my attribute is going to look like this. And now if I highlight, now I'm not worried about this page because I'm telling my TestComplete to find the object with the attribute that starts with this value, and do not worry about its ending, but make sure the object has this value. Okay, so this is called wildcarding. Okay, now let's see what is extended find. Okay, here we saw the wildcarding. Now let's see what is extended find. Now, when you look any object, it follows the hierarchy. For instance, if I want to use this button add card, or when test complete try to access the button add card, it ensures that all other parents objects are stable and are in place before it even reaches to this button add card to interact with. Now let's say in the future one of the parent object got changed. Then it will affect all other child objects. So it's like consider a absolute XPath if you are coming from a Selenium WebDriver background. This is the absolute XPath that starts from the HTML tag and ends to the object which you are looking for. But relative XPath is not like that. Okay, it just search directly to the object, right? To make this button add to the cart relative, we are going to use these extended find features. So first click on this extended find features, okay, and now drag it and put inside or drop inside the parent element you wish to be searched for that element. What I mean is, now I am telling test complete to search for this button add card everywhere inside this page Abhishek Patel Webyon system. Got it? So now this button add card will look everywhere inside this page Abhishek Patel Webyon systems. Okay? So this is how extended find works. So it's kind of similar to the relative XPath in the Selenium WebDriver. Okay. Now we saw the conditional controls, we saw the wildcarding, we saw extended find, and we are left with required children. Okay, let's see what is required children. Let's say you have an object. Okay, you have this object panel. Okay, this is the panel object, and the identifier that it uses is object type, that is panel, and object identifier 2. Now consider on now think in the future this object identifier changes to 7. Then your test complete won't able to find this panel. Okay, now you are stuck with an object which do not have any unique attributes, and you do not know like what is the next step, like how you are going to make this unique. But you know that the panel along the hierarchy has a stable attribute. For example, this panel is not stable, though this panel is stable. Okay, this panel is stable, but this panel isn't. So if this panel is stable, then I am going to use the attributes of this panel to identify this panel. Okay, so for that I am going to click on this panel, and here I am going to click on this required children and going to click on panel. Okay, so I am telling my test complete that to find this panel, go ahead and look for the unique attributes of this panel, that is the children of this panel. Got it? So this is how you can use the required childrens, right? Okay, so that's it in this video. So to quickly recap, we saw the extended find feature which is similar to the relative XPath in Selenium WebDriver. We saw wildcarding, we saw the conditional controls, where we use the condition to identify the changing button, and then we saw this required children, where we can use the unique attributes of children to identify a parent control or a parent web object. Okay, so that's it in the name mapping. So that's it in this video. I hope you understood the concept. If you have any doubt, please write me up in the comment section. Thank you very much. Until next time. So if you need a software testing consultation or software testing training, then visit to our company's URL, that is www.webyawnsystems.com, and on the home page click on this contact us button, which will take you to the contact us section of the website. Now here either you can write us at contact@webyawnsystems.com, or you can call us at this number if you are from India, or at this number if you are from United States or the Canada. Thank you.